watch this, watch this. Look. Give it a second. It's the guy from Fortnite!
What's cracking, peeps? It's Jax. Merry Christmas. It has come to that time of the year. It's the end of the year. We're into December. And what always happens at the end of every year is the Game Awards. Now, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, this drops in like 6 days, so by the time But yeah, okay, so there we go. I've cast my votes for the Game Awards 2022, and the fridge is turned on. Right, so you guys want to know what my game of the year is. I'm basically going to break it down for you, right? Because for me, I always like to talk about games that I've played for the first time this year, and I consider those to be in my game of the year, like my games that I've played this year. Let's call it that instead. But I'll talk about some of the ones that did come out this year. So Faith is probably my indie of the year, purely because of just how fascinating that game is. I love everything about that game. The audio, the atmospheric horror, the design, and the Commodore 64 style stuff. I just love everything about it. And obviously I've gone so in depth on theorizing about it that it's now just like embedded in my mind. So that's definitely probably my indie of the year. Actually, scratch that. It's got some competition, because I will talk about another. There was Stray came out. I really enjoyed it, but the ending kind of really annoyed me. Like, I wanted to see the cat get back to its family, and I wanted to see them reunite and then like have little kisses, and then they all go back to their little cat home, and we didn't get that. There was no payoff for me, and that made me very sad. So yeah, Stray was decent. The latest game, obviously we've got to talk about Sonic Frontiers, because that game's very important to me. And the reason is because it's a 3D Sonic game that I was actually excited about. Initially, it didn't look so good. I was very concerned. My Christmas jumper, by the way, guys, so you can see I like my Sonic. I was very concerned that it was not going to be very good at all. I've not completed it. I'm into like the second area. I think there's of the three. Is there three different areas? And I've loved every second of it. Like, it has been so much fun to play. The way it breaks up just the open world. I wouldn't call it a hub area, but just the exploratory nature of the open world, and the like digital cyber world levels that are very much sort of your classic Sonic side scrollers, or like from more recent titles. Like, it's very well done, I think. Don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of inspiration from other games like Breath of the Wild and stuff, and there's a lot of faults with the game. Don't get me wrong, it's certainly not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. But I think for me, as a Sonic fan, to be excited and to really enjoy a 3D Sonic game, considering I've not been excited to buy a 3D Sonic game for a very long time, and it makes me very happy to do that. So that's why it is one of my contenders for games. If it's games that came out this year, Sonic Frontiers is probably my front runner, to be honest. It shows how few games I buy anymore, because I'm an old man with responsibilities. Obviously we had Splatoon 3 came out, and that has pretty much just kind of continued from what Splatoon 2 was. It's one of the few multiplayer shooters that I play that I love so much. It's still so much fun. I'm disappointed so far by the story. Like, I was considering how much effort and stuff it seemed like they put into the new story, it didn't make it any more interesting for me. It feels very much like it's again it's a bunch of skill challenges, when they could do so much with Splatoon, at least in my opinion. They could do so much to make it like an interesting narrative story, but it's really not. It's just not exciting. It's not interesting to do. It feels like you're slogging your way through a bunch of skills challenges to get like the P45 version of the Splattershot Junior at the end anyway. So yeah, it's not gonna be my game of the year, but it's on my list because of the very few games that I've actually played and bought this year. For the game that did not come out this year, but I bought it this year, and being perfectly honest, I feel like it's my game of 2022 because it very much took over my life, and it has previously been a game of the year. For those of you that follow the channel, you know that I'm going to be talking about Hades. It is such a fun roguelike. I was introduced to play it by GrogGames, who just said go and like give it a go and stuff, and I did, and I was literally hooked on it for like probably a good 3 to 6 months. Like I would not stop playing it at every possible opportunity. That was before my baby son was born. I would say during, no, not during, and after he was born, I was still playing Hades. I was holding him in my arms and I was playing Hades on my Switch. Like, the game is so much fun. One of the most clever uses of like repeatedly dying, like giving you a purpose about repeatedly dying and then coming back trying to escape hell. And yeah, it's a great game, and I don't think there's been another game this year, aside from Sonic Frontiers, I would say, that has kept me as hooked into the game as this has. So yeah, for me it's Sonic Frontiers, which is my game of the year, and then for my game of 2022 that's come out previously is Hades, which won Game of the Year, I think, was it in 2019? I think Hades won in 2019 or 2020. Yeah, so make of that what you will. Best indie is Faith, and I will distance that from Hades, and I'll say Faith is my best indie of the year. Faith Chapter 3, Faith the Unholy Trinity. Those are my game awards. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As I said, go and check out the Video Game Vibes podcast where we go into more depth about our favourite games that came out this year, that we've been playing this year, and just listen to it. We drop a pod every 2 weeks and it's just a good vibe, so go and check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button for me, guys, because it really does help me out. And if you are new here, do feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, check out some of the other videos I've got going on, because you never know, you just might like them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.